Welcome everyone. If you can kindly let me know if you can hear me okay, if the video is okay, that would be great. Let's see how this goes. And we'll do a bit of a test. Make sure everything's all going strong here. And let's make sure in here as well. Good. Live streaming. XPR Proton updates. I'll tell you what, I need to do one of those in the next couple of days for sure. Can everyone hear me okay and everyone see me okay? If you can let me know in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated, because to me that video looks like it's lagging. I have no idea. But it says excellent connection, so I'm assuming it's okay. Blast my deals, yes. XPR Proton updates. As you know, in the past I had oh, it's so low. Okay, does that sound better? Please do let me know, that would be great. So yeah, XPR is let me just check as well, this coming through okay. I think that's fine. Let me just move that up a bit more as well and change that about a bit. Is that better? Maybe I need to move that here so it's a bit more in front of me. Yeah, cool, better now. Excellent. So XPR Proton, guys, is something we need to do a video on in the next couple of days for sure. As you know, previously I had an issue with transferring my Proton wallet from my old phone to my new one. Partially my fault, but in general I don't think I allowed enough time for the cloud to update, and then XPR, the private key didn't transfer across, so basically I lost loads of money. And yeah, I wouldn't say I lost track of XPR, I just got a bit annoyed of it, which is my own fault. But I do have XPR again in the portfolio. I have the wallet up and running, so for sure we will indeed do another update video on XPR as soon as possible, no problem. We'll try and do one tomorrow. Literally, I was planning on doing loads of videos. I literally just came off a live stream with a YouTube channel called Tottenham Away, which the team I support, but they wanted to talk about metaverse projects and crypto, and it was actually really cool. So hopefully I'll get some access to that and share that on this channel, but I'll drop a link in the community anyway at some point. But I thought, do you know what, it's like 10 to 1 in the morning here. I need to do some work soon anyway, because I work in the crypto space, as many of you know. And I thought the easiest way to go about this craziness of the last few days is probably to just do a live stream. And I've got the hotspot over there, hopefully working. Hopefully you guys can hear and see and everything like that, all fine. And I thought we'd just run through a few projects, and then if there's any you want to look at, just shout them out in the chat. We're going to try and do more live shows a couple of times a week, hopefully 2 or 3 times a week, as well as the usual videos. But yeah, as time is so difficult for me, I think it's easier sometimes to just jump on and run through a few things for you guys as and when I can. So guys, I'm going to start with Zilliqa, because this is a project I've held for some time. Wow, what a few days it's been for Zil. If you're holding Zil, let us know in the chat here or the comments below if you're watching this as a recording, because this has been an absolute mega move the last few days. It was ironic because the last video we did, we titled it Zilliqa is like a powerhouse in the making kind of thing. A giant in the making, I think we called it. And literally the next day it went mental. So don't worry, no price manipulation here. It was just merely coincidence that the announcement came out from Miami, where there's a big conference going on. I don't know which conference it was, but there was loads of projects going, and Zilliqa announced the Metropolis launching April the 2nd. We're talking about, I think that's Friday, Saturday this week coming. I've lost track of time. The time zone's changed here. I work with people all over the world in the crypto space, and no one knows what time it is anymore. I think I sleep for like 3 or 4 hours a day. But yeah, April the 2nd, I'm pretty sure is Friday or Saturday this week or something. So I'm really looking forward to that. But while we're on that topic, let's jump into the chart for that one, because this was absolutely mental moves. This isn't Zilliqa, this is Tezos, and that's because every time I put OBS on, it goes all silly and I have to change about the things here. So Zilliqa, guys, let's just pull up the performances on the right hand side here as well, because they are mega as well. Zilliqa, like I said, let us know if you're holding this one in the comments in the live chat. But look at this. I had to like readjust the chart properly so many times to try and fit this into one screen. It moved that much. Can you believe this? And how long have we been saying, like, and so many people out there were saying like, oh, the projects are dead, the price isn't moving, when is this going to move? And I was always like, the projects don't, they do care about the price to an extent, because they want investors to be excited and stuff, obviously, but that's not their job. Their job is to enhance their project and keep growing and doing the things they do. We were talking about this like 3.7 cent mark being like an absolute amazing diamond opportunity to just take a massive project, or a potentially massive project, clip this you want as full videos in OBS, yeah for sure. But look at this, absolutely mental. And we were always saying along the way that this price is brilliant. I just generally felt like anything under 5 cents was fantastic buy opportunity for Zilliqa. It's not financial advice, obviously, blah blah blah. But yeah, all I'm going to say is, like, I'm not just saying it because we're flying high, but I think in the long run, I think Zilliqa is going to be fantastic. I always believed like maybe by 2024, 2025, might see potentially like $5 for Zilliqa. I'm still standing by that. And I think Metropolis, the metaverse project, is exactly what Zilliqa needed to make people really believe in what's going on. For me, Zilliqa is fantastic. The ecosystem is massive. There's loads going on. I love XCAD on there, for example. I think there's triple X tracks on there. Also, there's a few other projects launching left, right, and center on these guys, including a few good NFT projects and game projects as well. But the Metropolis, that metaverse is such a big topic on that. I'm literally, as I said, just come off a live stream with another channel talking about the metaverse and how NFTs are going to impact sports and stuff like that. So it's really cool. And we know from the Metropolis trailer videos what they're doing with that. Absolutely phenomenal. But just a bit of analysis on this, guys. Like, this is mental. From the top point, which was yesterday, hitting just, I think it was just over 12 cents, 12.5 maybe. But look at this from this lower point. I'm just going to put it back about a week ago to around 3.7 cents. How many times did we say this price point is a significant area of potential support mechanism? And it's just so happens the announcement came out, but look at that. And I've just literally realized I put that completely the wrong way around, which is terrible. That's better. I think if I move that across, 200, that is mental. 230% in like 2 or 3 days. Like, wow, that is absolutely mental. What more can I say? I'm going to put up these indicators here. Obviously, humongous over purchasing happening right now. I want people to be aware of a few things here. For me in particular, the 14 days, absolutely brilliant. I have been taking profits the last 24 hours. I'd be stupid not to, especially from those 3.74 cent marks. We're talking about like 3 times here in such a short space of time. But for me, what's really interesting is the 28-day close as well, 73. We're now, for me personally, in a position where we go back a month and we can see substantial profit opportunities here. And we can confirm that on the right-hand side as well, performance-wise, 130% up on the week. Oh dear, 142% up on the month, and 3 months is up as well, just because of these last few days. There's literally a few videos back we were talking about this could take a couple of months to do, and here we are. Wow, this is what the space can do, right? Um, so absolutely mental. Let us know, what you've been doing with Zilliqa. Have you been taking profits in this area? What's going to happen next with Zilliqa? Well, we've already seen, to be fair, today this downward trend from just around 12 cents hitting back to this 9.9, or pretty much 10 cents. I'm just going to remove this price range indicator here. I wanted to pay attention to some of these fib levels. So if I just zoom out a bit, you can see the long-term fib retracement and the kind of like medium to short-term one as well. And what's happened here is we've taken these short-term opportunities here and then we've flown past them. What was really interesting is we saw some very big resistance around just under 13 cents. It couldn't quite get to this big barrier, but that is huge. We've gone through probably 2-3 significant fib retracement levels in such a short space of time. I was really, really surprised it went up that much that quick. That's almost like something that would happen on a launch day. But obviously on a launch day you get the big tail down as well, right? But this is absolutely mental. Completely blown out our area here of where we're going to try and buy some more when it came down for a little dip. But I do believe, like, in this downward slight trend where it is now just under 10 cents, it's going to need to get itself above 10, in my opinion, over the next 24 hours or so to try and keep momentum up in those areas. But don't be surprised to see some fluctuation down, maybe potentially, not necessarily immediately, but over a few days period, or indeed a couple of weeks, we might start seeing these lower regions back down to 7.5 cents. Then I'm going to be questioning myself, like, wow, this kind of matches the December area. Is this going to be a new resistance level? And that would be so good for the longevity of Zilliqa this year, in my opinion. If we can sustain that area above 8 cents that we matched here in December. And to be fair, saw some great touch points in September and June, July last year. Wow, we could have a big run this year for Zilliqa. Try and penetrate those previous 20-cent highs, maybe and beyond that. Because for me, I've been holding Zilliqa for 2 years. I'm a long-term holder. I feel I've got mine in staking. I've been taking profits last few days. I think it's going to be absolutely mental. We're going to go through a few comments here. Sorry, forgive me, because I've done one live video before and the internet kicked out. I finally got unlimited data on my phone. The broadband's terrible. So, Arthur, Zil has been really quiet for ages. This is exactly what we said on the channel many times the last few weeks, that we've got to be a bit patient with this, but let's not disrespect these prices. Because I guarantee to you, in a few months' time, when everything's in the big proper bull runs, we'll be looking back and going, oh, I wish I did this, wish I did that. I've done it so many times the last couple of years. I'm not preaching as if I'm an expert. I'm telling you from the lessons that I've learned. So really, really interesting to see that movement. A few other comments here. Got lots of Zil. Fantastic. Opinion on power. Let's actually have a look at power. My opinion on power is massive. We did an AMA with Dr. Jenny, absolutely brilliant person, really big and influential in the space, for sure. And this is a really big topic for me. Power Ledger, Energy Web, and I think someone actually asked here about Energy Web as well. Curious where you place EWT and VRA in your portfolio. For me, they're big players in my portfolio for sure. And Power Ledger for me is right up there as well. It's something that I got in with a tad later than the other ones, to be honest, because I was very heavily focused on EWT. But for me, Power Ledger is doing great things, especially in Australia. It's kind of hometown, if you like. And the whole narratives around the world at the moment, with the big inflation on energy prices, energy consumption, is just really fueling, excuse the pun, the energy capacity into blockchain technology. We're talking about the ability to become a prosumer, solar panels on your roof, and being able to sell your excess carbon units to people around the world via Web 3.0 hotspots and blockchain technology. Reducing the requirement and the need really to utilize the big companies that we use today, albeit some of them are partnered with them. But yeah, Power Ledger is fantastic. I think it's so early days. If you look at like Energy Web is slightly different because it's got quite a lot of institutional value in it now. It's heavily linked with like the World Economic Forum, the Agenda 30 programs, very heavily integrated now with like European Commission and the way that blockchain's going, with European decisions and blockchain decisions. So Power Ledger's catching up in that capacity. It's not as big, obviously, but Power Ledger is going to have its time for sure in the near future, in my opinion. And I just feel like it was great to be buying them sub 50 cents. I'm really glad that I was never around for Power Ledger when it was like 10 cents, and we're only going back like a year and a half since then. But we follow this current trend line that we put in a few videos back. Just to reiterate, the trend lines are not me predicting anything. It's more to gauge where we should be with Power Ledger. So if we continued that line, we're very much bang on in what I would deem as the real current price of what Power Ledger should be in its life cycle and the market trend in general over this period of time. Power Ledger is sitting around 60 cents. It's obviously been on a bit of an upturn. So personally, I'm not buying any more right now. I'm just going to wait to see how this works out. Of course, we've got some nice indicators here to tell whether I'd be taking some profits. Not quite yet, but certainly if that 14-day penetrates the 70 mark and the 28-day gets more near above the 60, I'd be quite interested to perhaps do that. But not majorly fussed right now. I'm really just holding and trying to accumulate Power Ledger as much as possible in as many dips that occur. So we can currently see really, and this was always our really key buy areas. So we're just at the top level of that now and slightly went over it 2 days ago. 27th of March was at a high of just over 60 cents. So we've had a good little run, and it sounds silly to talk about like 11, 12 cents and get excited about that. But for me, that's a really good sign. And it's a really good sign for this kind of project. But what I'm really interested in now, and I'm just going to pull out the fib retracement slightly across here, is if we can, we tried to touch this area again, back 60, which is what we did here on the 1st of March, and loads of different areas around in February area as well. It looks like we're not quite ready for that yet, but what's going to be interesting is have we got support around this 57 cent mark? We're going to probably confirm that in the next few days. If we do have that support area, that's going to be brilliant news for Power Ledger. And the market in general, I think, is just going into this phase now where it's had an absolute massive explosion. It now needs to correct itself probably and find new levels of support. This is going to be where you identify how strong the project really is, or if this has just been a FOMO moment where people just jumped into anything and everything because it was all rising, didn't know what was going on. People were taking profits, taking advantage of the situation, and that's what happens. So I'm interested with Power Ledger right now, but I will continue to buy it. If it does drop back down to sort of 54 cents and 50, I'll definitely be jumping back in with some more accumulation. But yeah, not buying right now because it's at a high period and I don't think it's quite finished yet. And we can look at a few things as well, indicator wise, just down here. So we've got the MACD obviously showing very bullish momentum. I'm going to see if I can drag this part up so we can see that. That's not too bad there actually. So it's still in a big positive area, but you can see just behind these lines a pale green occurring. So we're going to see maybe a slight wave down a bit, but I don't think we may go into a big sell-off pattern just yet. It's doing good things, and again, similar to Zilliqa, not as big obviously, but it's very nice to see green indicators on these sides. Look at that, 11% on the week, 11% on the month, 39% on the 3 months as well. This is so good to see. But yeah, Power Ledger is very much in there, as is EWT. EWT is probably, I don't know, I'd probably say my 4th biggest bag, and Veracity actually is probably in the top 6. I think it's like 5th or 6th. Veracity was one where I felt like it was so unique, and I saw what Theta had done before. I think it's quite similar. Some technological aspects of that is quite similar. But yeah, Veracity for me, when it came down to where it is kind of where it is now, 2.7 cents ish, really big opportunities to jump in. Big hello to Bob Spur TV, by the way, good old pal from Spurs community. Awesome to see you coming into the crypto world, my friend. For sure, hopefully we can help you along the way. You can always jump in our WhatsApp group, mate. You're more than welcome. We can for sure make sure we get you involved as much as possible. But yeah, Veracity quickly, really unique in terms of the proof of view mechanisms it's got, the patents that we cover in most of the videos. By the way, like I said, this live show, I don't usually do them, so I will try and do 1 or 2 a week, but I'm going to start hopefully getting 3 or 4 videos out a day again. It's just work's been so crazy in the crypto space right now. So yeah, Veracity has had not really much movement at all going on. Now, I'm a bit surprised. I thought this would be another one of the projects that people usually do jump into in these kind of markets, but it hasn't been that way. Doesn't mean it's a bad project, but it still had a good little move up. Let's just have a quick look. Roughly 30% increase over a few days. Still pretty respectable in my opinion. But yeah, like with Power Ledger, I'm not buying in this current position. I will wait perhaps for a bit more of a drop down, but I do think in general, these kind of prices that are at, so I said 2.7, I meant 1.7, around these areas, 2 cents was absolutely phenomenal opportunities to grab this. If you're looking at Veracity to add it to your portfolio right now, just be wary that we've had a bit of an uptake, and we might try and find some stabilization. So this is not financial advice, but me as an investor, and what I will be doing right now is putting a buy order in, just touching slightly lower to where it is now at this fib retracement level, 2.5 cents, just slightly above it. It's pretty much floating around there right now. What is it at the moment? We are on a movement of, I think, 0.0265. So if you want to grab that extra, that sounds silly, like 10th of a cent opportunity, that's where I'll be doing it. But I'll also be dragging it down to a low region of around 2.2 cents, just in case. But yeah, right now I'm happy to just wait around because I've been accumulating at these low regions. I want to try and take some profits on this one, see how it goes. But yeah, we're in a good buying pattern for this one right now. 23% up on the week, 34% up on the month. Still negative on the 3 months. Like I said in the previous videos, I do anticipate this is going to take a month or two to retract that. But look what happened to Zilliqa. All it takes is one announcement. I can't believe Zilliqa. Absolutely mental. 200% increase in 2 or 3 days. Absolutely mental. So yeah, Veracity right now is looking very strong. Maybe some of you are taking profits out of that. Let us know in the comments and the chat. 1.7 cents it was a couple of days ago, literally a few days ago, and we've already had the 1 cent improvement. Like I said, it sounds a bit stupid just talking about a 1 cent improvement, but if you've got enough asset wise, it does make a big difference for sure. Yeah, looking for good entries for VRA, BPRO, Luxo. Luxo I don't know about, I have to check that one out. EWT, obviously fantastic, POIR. Ultra US, I absolutely love Ultra. I think more and more gaming projects are going to fly across to these kind of areas. It's going to be really cool. And BPRO is one of my favorite projects. Obviously got acquired recently, and I do think that's going to be one that will start really improving itself price wise over the next few months. It's had a good few moves the last few days, but actually since the 13th of March, which is what, about a couple of weeks ago now, it's had a 126% increase. And that's really good for a project like BPRO, because everyone's been battering this one in the community, saying, oh, it's terrible, there's no price, it's not doing anything. But guys, it's got acquired, and I think like that alone is going to push it, really high in the future. I'm not saying like mega money immediately, but like I would definitely expect us to get at least to the 5 cent marks and so on. Hopefully this year again. But I think in the long run, BPRO could easily be well over the dollar mark as it continues its progression, helping developers out with its mechanism. and the protocol, and I'd be really interested. I do need to do an update video on those guys, especially after the acquisition, see where they're playing out. But yeah, again, for me, I'll probably be looking at a couple of sell-off positions, because I was buying B Pro literally a couple of weeks ago, and matching that with the 14-day, we pretty much doubled the position where we were. I look back here, say, what were we, 2 weeks ago? So roughly around here was around 40. So yeah, I'll probably just hold out a bit till the 14-day gets nearer to like 75, 80. We might not get there, because we've already had a big uptake yesterday. It's dropped down a relatively good amount, maybe half a cent. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, B Pro, my friend Danny, yeah, top pick there. I think B Pro's got a massive future. But yeah, you'll hear about Luxo soon. Let's see. I'd like to do some more people crypto episodes. We'll have some of those coming up maybe this weekend. So I'll add Luxo to that for you guys. See what that's about, and see if we want to put any positions in. My voice is nearly dead, by the way, because I've literally done like a 3-hour stream before this with someone else. So apologies, I might cut off soon, but we'll definitely be back on for another live show later on this week, as well as the normal videos tomorrow. We've got VeChain on. Goodness me, I forgot about VeChain. How can I forget about VeChain? That's like one of the biggest bags I've got, to be fair. Been holding that very well since 2020. Beautiful supply chain mechanism. Can pretty much change the world, the way the supply chain works. Not just these guys, there's going to be loads of them. But I put this marker in earlier today. Look at that, from those low points. I'm not going to count the Bitcoin leverage failure day, but I'm just going to take it from this lower region of 4.4 cents. Wow, up to 8 cents, guys. Double position, 82.74%. For me personally, I'm not going to get fully excited with VeChain again until we get nearer that 20 cent mark again. I didn't sell off much when it did that last time, but I won't make that mistake again. I'm sure we'll get some retaliation at 20 cents again, but I think, in my opinion, VeChain, hopefully within this year, I did think it might do it last year, but the market obviously crashed magnificently for the last 3 or 4 months. But I could see VeChain, getting towards that kind of 60 to 80 cents maybe towards the end of this year, if the momentum does properly kick in. I do, as I said, believe we're in a bit of a FOMO momentum right now. Everyone's been bored of the poor performances of the market the last 3 months, and finally something's happened. Everyone's got excited, jumped in. We might see a bit of a correction on that facility, but that's good and healthy, because that means we'll take ourselves back up as time goes by. But just interested to see the performances of VeChain here. So still negative on the 3 months, but that has come down a lot. That might be slightly faked out a bit skewed because of the movements of the last few days. But regardless, I think psychologically many people do look at the performance indicators, and the more green they see, obviously the more excited they get. But the weekly and the monthly is looking fantastic finally for VeChain, as it is for many other projects. I mean, look down the line here. I know some of them are in red today. It's green. It's green across the board. Absolutely mad last week that we've had. I was surprised the EWT didn't do a bit better. That's another one that we hold and do videos on. But there's a lot of money in EWT, and it does take big moves now for this to move significantly. But I quite like this because it's still in an area that's achievable for me to keep trying to accumulate selfishly. But I think, I just feel like in a few years' time, when CBDCs and the energy system and everything really gets switched on, probably by 2025 or something, I think EWT can be that like $100, $200 quite easily in the next couple of years, 2-3 years, if the technology continues and the momentum continues as well. But we'll have to see how that goes. The original Ethereum team, interesting. Okay, I'm interested. I will definitely add that, my friend, to the People's Crypto episode at the end of this week. Another one we cover quite a bit before I kind of wrap up, because I'm literally dying and I'm very tired. It's nearly 1:30. We'll make the next one more energetic, I promise. QNT, Quant. Now, this doesn't look like a massive move on the chart, but monetary value-wise, it is actually quite a bit. So we've gone from these like $100 marks to 156, I think it got to yesterday. Maybe slightly higher. Let's double check that. It's around there, isn't it? It's a good 44% increase there. But yeah, a good like $40 jump. I was so happy to get into Quant finally when it was down at these regions, $87, $90. Because I just thought, like, I remember getting e-gold when it was like $25 in 2020. And watching that momentum grow up to like $500-$600. I think it may have gone a bit higher than that. I can't remember. I'm not saying Quant will do exactly that, but if you actually look at the history of Quant, I mean, look at this back here. Dizzy heights of $430. That's the capability of it if we manage to swing that round as a I'd say that was short term, in my opinion. I think Quant, when the financial system turns on, as I said with CBDCs, I could truly think that Quant could get to like, you know, well beyond the thousands. I could see it being like a $10,000 coin easily in the years to come, maybe 5 to 10 years. Just because of the momentum of what Quant is and what CBDCs are about and the financial system, how that's changing, how we're integrating into this new world order, if you like, as Biden said the other day, if anyone noticed. But yeah, Quant's a bit of a slow move, and that's understandable because there's more monetary value to it. But yeah, Quant is an absolute big player. Am I going to be buying any right now? No, I'm going to wait for a bit more steadiness. I would like to try and perhaps grab some more Quant around that $120 mark if I can, if it does come back down to that level, of course, because if we actually look at the chart, we did try and touch these previous areas we saw in February, but it's on its slight way down now. So I do anticipate that 130 could be a good dollar cost average area, and these lower regions here, as I said, around 120. So they're probably the two positions I'm going to put some buy orders in on the way down. But it is really going to be interesting. We're on a bit of a wave down right now, coming to the conclusion perhaps of the FOMO moves that we've had across the market the last few days. Everyone's got excited. So yeah, for sure, we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, Quant, I'm just going to wait for that to come down a bit. I'm definitely not FOMOing in. I'm more than happy to be waiting for Quant. And, you know, if I do believe in those $10,000 price in a few years, what's $100, right? It's crazy to think that way. I was going to shut down, but XRP Brit, what a hero. A fine bowler indeed of 10-pin bowling. I'm literally losing my voice here. What's eGold running at the moment? Always wanted some. I love eGold. Elrond is such a phenomenal project. And you know what? I look forward to doing the update video tomorrow because, as you know, I've been staking mine in Elrond wallet. I'm also utilizing the Maya exchange wallet and the exchange online to obtain the MEX token, which is the token used for the exchange, the Maya exchange token, MEX. But they've also got all these other cool liquidity pools and farming pools, really good money to be made there. The Ride token to promote the metaverse token for the games when you're driving. Well, not driving, you're a passenger. If you were to put a VR unit on while you're driving, then God help you. But they've now also launched, in fact, I'll tell you what I could do before I go into the chart. I'll just quickly show you what it looks like because it's actually quite cool. No, it's not the Maya wallet. Mu wallet, sorry, it's this one here. So this is the Maya exchange. Hopefully the internet will hold up for me to show you, and in the meantime I will just switch to eGold's chart, and then I will switch the page to the browser. Hopefully this works. For some reason it's not loading. Interesting. That's the Elrond wallet. Gone to the wrong thing. There we go. Maya exchange. It might not work. Here we go. So they've just started this meta bonding. You can stake eGold, and you can stake LKMX. This is locked MEX. So if you lock your MEX tokens, you get more and better rewards. Mine don't show up yet because I haven't connected my ledger, so it's nice and secure. But you have the ability now in charging phases to get all these cool tokens that are being built, or projects being built on Elrond. Some of them are games, some of them are projects and protocols, NFT marketplaces, things like this. Really cool. And it's free basically because you're staking to get the rewards. So definitely try and get involved in that. We'll do a video on that tomorrow. We'll also show you how to stake Elrond as well. So hopefully you found that a bit interesting. But let's look at the chart quick for Elrond. If you're new to it or you want to jump in, where are we right now? Well, I haven't looked at this chart, so we're going to be doing this organically basically. Woo, that is a move and a half. 125 all the way up to 214, 70%. Sometimes I wish I weren't staking things and I could just take advantage of these. I'm annoyed now. That's a mega move. So Elrond I was purchasing back in 2020. I think it was at $25, and I went mad and bought a load of them. And I thought I bought loads of them. It turns out I didn't when I compared it to other people and how much they've got. But regardless, I'm an Elrond holder and I did a good job of getting a lot of profits in it. And just to reiterate, look at how much this increased. So put this in perspective, I was buying around 25, which is roughly around here. And to the top point, which we saw in November last year, and it's around when the ride tokens came out as well, actually, I think. 2,000%, not a bad return. $548 it got to. I believe, like, if we are recovering the way I think we are, hopefully we are, and get these new support levels, I think we could get to the $1,000 in this year if the bull run happens. I don't consider this a bull run. I consider this a FOMO event, but I could see if the bull run comes, we might get that $1,000 mark for Elrond. But yeah, in terms of your question, Mr. XRP Brett, a hero of mine, if I wanted to enter into Elrond right now, I would just be holding off because we had this uptake, as we've said on many projects. In fact, just double check how much that was. It was around 70%, wasn't it? So I would be looking potentially at the macro level fib retracement, because we're touching on these lower areas here in January. So that was resistance before it pulled itself down, then dragged itself back up, couldn't get there. So there's a big magnet around this area. So my first instance and port call would be roughly, sounds mental, around $180. Would it come down lower than that? It's potentially possible. Not thinking it would come down this low, but it's definitely worth putting an area in there just in case. But I'd be really interested in the mid-level. So I'm just going to draw two boxes here. So I'm looking at a position around 180. And I'd be interested around about here, 153. That's my first port call. I might hold some USDT back here. You just never know. You might just get one complete leverage failure and it brings the market down for a day. And they're the kind of ones you can snap up in those areas really quickly. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting some buy orders in here, and particularly at this 150 area. But yeah, for now, my goodness, we are flying on Elrond right now. I think we are literally a high today. It was 195. So that's pretty much where we are right now. And as I said yesterday, I think we had a bit of a sell-off. Today's stabilizing. So it's all about the next few days. Can we hold that? And the MACD is strong. The RSIs aren't as big as I thought, although last 2 days didn't quite penetrate the 70 on the 14-day, which is quite surprising. And the 28-day is still pretty medium and average to me. The 90-day is always going to be around about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Elrond's not finished yet in terms of it moves up. So just be a bit more patient. Try not to FOMO in, but you know, for sure, if it does take up from here, we're probably looking at next levels. It's going to have to do a big jump like it did here on the 11th of February, where it went from a low of 173 to a high of 270, a whole $100. But if we can get support at this current area, you're probably looking at the next area of Elrond being between sort of 220, where we saw yesterday. It needs to penetrate that first, but the next level up is arguably around where we saw here, 250, on this macro level here, which we haven't seen other than that big tail up here on the 11th, we haven't seen that price since the 5th of January. So if it does stabilize where it is right now, we might see those next moves up, but we'll have to see how the rest of the market plays out. If Bitcoin continues to rise, usually that money fluctuates downwards, as we know from historic data. So we'll have to see how that plays out as well. But yeah, very interesting to see that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much wrapped up most of them. XRP, Arthur, adding XRP to the moment, the lawsuit looming closer. That lawsuit, my friend, is honestly, what a series that is. It's like a circus. I still believe they're working together. I don't think they're against each other. I think they're trying to protect the dollar, my personal opinion. But wow. I think XRP. Yeah, I remember watching Cheeky Crypto a couple of years ago. They made a good reference to Kincoin, which is in a similar state of being a potential security issue with the SEC. And they did a good demonstration of what happened with the Kincoin. I think it was around 2016 or 17, maybe in 18. Can't remember. But the Kincoin, I believe, failed with its appeal. But even with that failure, it secured the confidence in people knowing that it's finally got clarity, and it rose something like 1,400% in like 24 or 48 hours. So that's Kincoin, and no disrespect to them, but XRP has got a big place in the world, a big future. And like Cheeky Crypto said at the time, is XRP being what it is, and the influential money behind it. You know, even if we saw a minimum of 1,400% and 1,400%, that takes it to around $18-20 in the space of a day. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? I'd have to pinch myself. But of course, if it's XRP, it might go even higher than that. I mean, that's just beyond me. Imagine seeing 1,400% rise in one day. But it's possible. We've seen it before. And like I said, there's a lot more money in XRP than there was in Kincoin back then. And Kincoin, great project, but not as probably big magnitude-wise as XRP will probably be. So I'm really interested in that. When is this SEC lawsuit finishing though? Because they say it every few months. I don't follow any of these channels anymore that are like, oh, the lawsuit's finishing this week, next month. Of course it is, mate. It's not. No, it isn't. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, Arthur. Quant, brilliant, great. XTC, oh, love XTC. And HBAR. HBAR is something I accumulated in 2020 as well. Hold that strong. That's definitely something I try and accumulate, especially around now. I think it's still around 20 cents. Let's have a quick look at that one and XTC before I wrap this video up. I said I would wrap it up 20 minutes ago, but here we are, 1:30 in the morning. Big hello to all you truckers out there. XTC, 6 cents, pretty much on the nose. It's had a little tail up from the lower regions, roughly still respectable, isn't it? 35% up. RSI is very high. Yesterday and today, 67. Still not as high as I thought it would be for XTC, but I think it's still under the radar. I don't think enough people talk about it. The ecosystem of XTC is going to grow substantially this year. You know, XSP. I think WK WhatsPay is involved with XTC. I can't remember. But yeah, you've got all of those ones. You've got I can't remember off the top of my head now. Got pretty much most of them. Globe Iron's obviously part of that system. Meta blocks that we covered recently. So honestly, I think this is going to be an absolute joke of a coin in the sense that you're buying at these stupid prices, it will fly. We had a previous high, by the way, guys, last year in August of nearly 20 cents. That's the target. I think we could do that easily this year. But I think we could go way beyond that. If they do the things that they think they're going to do and all these ecosystems start building like they're doing on Zilliqa, this will fly. And XTC is probably, out of all of the assets in my portfolio, I think XTC is the one I'm excited about the most. For sure. You see all our intro videos why we think that. And H bar, just want to check the price on H bar. I'm going to go into massive detail of it because we've got a video coming up, I think tomorrow or Wednesday for that one. In a buying pan, like everywhere else, the RSI is quite respectable, still average. I think we're in this limbo mode and now with the projects, the assets, because we've had this big tail up on all of them. Now we're getting a bit of stabilization these next couple of days. This is going to identify whether we go up that next level or we start correcting ourselves down. It sounds a bit cliche, but we're literally in limbo mode in my opinion right now, and you can see that as well. If you look at the histogram, the waves cooling off, so it's similar to these kind of patterns here, but look at H bar, it's not really moved at all. 19 to 23 cents. I don't understand that. H bar is such a big powerhouse in the making. People sleep on it, I think, because it doesn't move. If H bar started moving like the other ones, I guarantee you everyone will be FOMOing like mad. But for me, I'm happy with this. I was buying XLM. I think we covered this in the previous video. It was way back like 10 cents, 8 cents or something. Maybe even lower in 2020. I just remember buying it like 4 or 5 cents. Like this a long time, and I didn't buy enough of it really. And it had a nice tail up. All the way up, look at that, 60 cents, absolute chaos. At that time I just didn't have much money and stuff because I was paying off debts at the time. Fortunately in a better position now, but if I had my time again and the money that I had available right now, I'd be going mad on this one at these current prices. But yeah, a good interesting point. It's at 25 cents right now, or sorry, 23.8 cents. If you're looking to save a couple of cents here and there, it could be a buy opportunity around here at 22. I'm just going to quickly shove in a fib retracement level at a macro level. It's not going to be very accurate. I can't even see properly right now. Just to get some attention on some lower areas. So 22, and then probably, I don't think it'll come back that lower. But yeah, 22 cents probably one to look for in that one in a short-term accumulation. But yeah, right now it's such a limbo moment. You don't know what this is doing, but it's such a sharp take up. There's a big gap to fill. This has to be corrected, in my opinion. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm moving right so far. The weekly and the monthly is looking strong on that. 15% still negative on the 3 months. The suit against LBRY will settle first. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't foresee XRP suit being completed soon at all. Arthur, there are too many good coins. That's the trouble. Oh, do you know what? Like, I think I've got over 40 assets in my portfolio now. I need some of these to break even again, so I can just sack them off, basically. Oh, too many, and it's too hard to manage, especially with work and stuff. And it's like, ugh. And then you miss some. It's too difficult. I want to try and bring my portfolio down to at least 20 assets, 20 clear assets. See how we go with that. But it's very difficult to determine which ones to take out. And then you've got that emotion of like, have I done the right thing or not? I don't know. Finally, guys, I'm going to wrap up soon because it's 1:30 here. I wasn't planning on doing a video anyway. I just thought there's so much to talk about. We'll rattle through a few, but we'll definitely do some videos tomorrow. And we'll have another live video when I get my voice back in a couple of days as well. So hopefully you can join us for that, and maybe a bit earlier for the communities out there that are on my time zone. But Catcoin, you have mentioned some very good ones there. Yeah, XM, big. DAG is fantastic. Constellation is a fantastic project. Very similar on par almost with IOTA. Direct, a cyclic graph, right? Power covered. Gala is one I bought originally in 2020 and then I sold them all stupidly. That's probably one of my biggest regrets. Algorand is phenomenal. Shinja, some of these coins I don't actually hold, like the meme coins and things like Shinja. I don't hold them, but I know that they've been doing very well. Hope crypto doesn't blow up. Yeah, we're a bit far off from that, I think. XRP Brit, best get my head down. Take care. On that note, my friend, I'm going to leave you guys as well. Sorry it's been a bit short. We'll definitely jump on another live one at the end of this week. Got loads of stuff to talk about, and we'll do our usual project videos in the next few days. But I just had so much to talk about. I didn't want to do individual videos. It'd take me forever. But hopefully you enjoyed this one, guys. We're going to indeed catch you in the next one, which will be tomorrow. And let us know in the comments below what ones you want us to cover, and we'll make sure we do them tomorrow as well. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to bed.